What's going on, everybody? Sean Pierce Johnson here for another edition of Stompbox Saturday, and a couple of weeks ago we looked at the Dunlop Rotovibe. Well, today we are going to look at the Fulltone Deja Vibe, another foot-controlled Univibe clone that, well, for my money, gets just a little bit closer to the vintage Univibe sound, but, well, there's a lot more to it. It can do more than just that. This, again, comes courtesy of the buddy, Metal Devin. Thanks, buddy. This thing is awesome, and it can get you a wealth of different vintage and modern tones, so let's go to the floor, check out exactly what this thing can do. Alright guys, let's take a look at exactly what the Fulltone Deja Vibe has got going on. It's got two knobs, two switches, volume for knob, volume for the intensity, a switch to switch between chorus and vibrato, and then a vintage modern switch, which is going to be the biggest difference between the Rotovibe that we looked at a couple weeks ago. Much like the Rotovibe, it can switch between chorus and vibrato like any good Univibe clone should. It's got an intensity knob. The volume knob is pretty interesting, as it seems to give just a little bit of a boost to the signal. The vintage and modern switch is definitely unique in that it definitely gets that vibe, no pun intended, of the vintage unit, but it can also get us a more modern take on the Univibe sound. So going through the orange, this is our bass clean tone right now. Alright, now let's go ahead and take a look at what this thing can do in the chorus setting on the vintage setting. I got the intensity fairly high. Much like I mentioned in the previous Rotovibe video, I tend to like to keep the intensity on the chorus setting of Univibe fairly high because I just really love that undulating warble sound. So let's take a look at that. Now let's go ahead and take a look at what that sound is going to sound like when it's in the modern setting. So same exact settings, and now we're in the modern. I honestly am really loving the way that this chorus mode sounds. This is probably one of the better Univibe clones that I've come across in the last chunk of time. Now let's go ahead and take a look at the vibrato on this. Now let's just see at these same exact settings exactly what it's going to sound like, and let's flip to the vintage mode. Now I would say that's pretty subtle for the vintage setting, so let's go ahead and switch to the modern. Now let's see what we got here. honestly, I've never played a vintage Univibe, but most people will tell you that the Fulltone Deja Vibes get pretty close to what the vintage units feel like and sound like. So, you know, if popular consensus is such, well, you might want to go ahead and agree with it. But as I said before, chorus, vintage, and high intensity are pretty much my bread and butter when it comes to this pedal, and especially with a nice dirt tone and, well... And of course, the expression pedal built into it, it makes it infinitely possible to express different notes, put emphasis on different chords. It's magical. So let's take it to Metal Devin and let's take the metalhead perspective of this pedal. Alright guys, that was your look at the Fulltone Deja Vibe 2. There's a couple different versions of this on the market, and I really don't think any is any better sounding than the other. Anything that Mike Fuller tends to put out is pretty awesome sounding, if you ask me. So, do the research, check them out. I guarantee you're gonna like at least one of them, or all three of them, like I do. Anyway, I hope you guys enjoyed this look at the Deja Vibe 2, and I will see you guys next week for another edition of Stompbox Saturday. And until then, happy stomping. Cheers, guys.